Hello, dear students. I hope you are doing all well during this time. Today's topic is about writing a short story and an article. Let's start first of all with writing a short story. We are going to see a story now. It's a message in the bottle. I'm going to read you the story and then we are going to do some exercises about this story. Let's start. It was a boiling hot summer day, so my friends and I decided to go to the beach. As soon as we arrived, Monica and I went for a dive, but Vanessa wanted to sunbathe for a while first. Suddenly, Vanessa called us. "Monica, Phoebe, quick, come quickly. I've come across to something strange." We were curious to see what was about so urgent, and we swam back to the shore. Vanessa was holding a green glass bottle. "I was making a sandcastle when I found this bottle," she said. We looked at her surprisingly. To our surprise, there was a piece of paper inside of the bottle. It took us some time to open the bottle, but in the end, we got a message out. It read, "Whoever finds this paper is the proud owner of Craft Castle, Lawrence McLeod, 1 April 1924. We couldn't believe our eyes. A castle of our own. "Hey girls," said Monica, "I hope this isn't a joke." Later that afternoon, we all went to the library to find where the castle was. Unfortunately, there was no Craft Castle in the surroundings area. We were utterly disappointed. Then Vanessa solved the mystery. "Look at the date. It says the 1st of April. So there was no mystery to solve. It was just an April Fool's joke. We saw now a story that was about a message in a bottle. Then we saw even some words that made the story more interesting, like suddenly, unfortunately, and "come quickly," said Vanessa, and other words that we are going to deal how we can write a story like this to make it more attractive. Let's start first with writing a story. So, when writing a story, we have to narrate the events according to some rules, of course. So, we have, first of all, the introduction. We have to describe the setting, so the time, where happens, the place, the girls were at the beach. It was hot, it was very hot. The weather, how it was the weather, and other things, maybe even include the characters that are going to take place in the story. If we have any characters, maybe I was alone, it depends, but if we have other characters, we have to mention them. The main parts too. Now we are dealing with the plot. We mention what happened in the story, what were the characters doing, what was I doing, how did they feel, how the characters felt, how I felt. Surprised, amazingly, etc. Linking words that we even mentioned them before. After a while, we quickly ran, they said we quickly ran to the shore. By the time, immediately, during, until this happened, etc. Now we have, maybe even we want to contrast the story. But however, we contrast what we previously said to the main part. Then we have the consequences and the result, depending on the story that we have to choose. So that for this reason, as a result, We have the cause and the reason, because of this, because of that. We saw the girl suddenly, we opened the bottle to see the message that was, unfortunately, fortunately, depending on this. To my surprise, I couldn't believe my eyes. So the girls were surprised. They couldn't believe their eyes on the message they saw. So they thought they were the owners of a castle. So they couldn't believe their eyes on this and other adjectives describing the main characters. And the conclusion, where we conclude by telling what happened in the end. So for the girls, the end was just an first April Fool joke. So they didn't own a castle. It was just a joke that somebody made for them. Let's see now, writing an article. First of all, our article is written for a wide range of people. It is written for a newspaper, a magazine maybe, or a journal. It is written for different cases. It is written to describe a personal experience, an event, a place, a person. It expresses a personal opinion or an argument, depending on what we are going to write an article for. It needs to provide information and to compare and contrast the topic and give a personal opinion in the end, so based on information. So it is written for a lot of purposes. It can be descriptive, narrative, etc. Let's see now some rules according to articles. So first of all, we have the title, of course. The title of the article should be provocative, so it should be to engage the reader. If I do not see a good title, I do not read it at all. So the title should be really provocative and make me read the article. The introduction, so we have to introduce the topic, engage the reader further on reading this, because if the introduction is not interesting, I'm not going to continue and reading all the main body and the other things that the author has written. So the main bodies develop the ideas, the pros and cons. We have to give the positive aspects and the negative aspects of the article, of the topic that we have chosen. And the conclusion, we have to give our opinion, so our point of view, if we agree or we do not agree. So we have to take sides on what the article has written. Or if I'm going to read it, I'm going to give side if I am pro this article or if I'm negative on this article. Now, we are going to see an article about pandas, and which are almost extinct, let's say, and then we are going to see, to make an exercise on this, and then you have to write as a homework an article. Let's start reading an article about pandas, which, as I said, are even in case of instincts. Have you ever wondered where those cute, cuddly giant pandas you see in the zoos come from? Well, last year, on a trip to China, I found one. I visited the Wolong National Nature Reserve. It was an unforgettable experience. Wolong is a sanctuary for giant pandas and other endangered species. There, the pandas are protected and live in their natural habitat. Some of the pandas, especially the mothers and their babies, live in panda houses where scientists study them. Others are free to roam in the mountains where you can see them playing, relaxing, and chewing on their favorite food, bamboo. Wolong actually means sleeping dragon, and comes from a legend about the dragon that was overwhelmed by the beauty of the valley. fell asleep there and never wake up again. A long dragon wall has been built there as a reminder of the legend. Like the dragon, I found the landscape absolutely breathtaking. The valleys with rivers and waterfalls surrounded by forest-covered mountains make the reserve a truly remarkable place. If you are a nature lover, Wolong is sure to fascinate you. Seeing giant pandas, the wild, is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Why not to plan a trip there for yourself? So, as we saw during the reading, there were some adjectives that describe the pandas. They were in superlative, and the words that related sentences together, absolutely breathtaking. It was something that leaves you without breath in seeing it. Valleys, so the words that are written in this article make us read it more and more. Let's go on now. So as I said you previously, we have to do a homework about this article. As we saw the article about pandas, now you have to write by yourself an article about a nature magazine. So you have to imagine that maybe you are a journalist and you have to write an article for a travel or nature magazine. Maybe you like traveling, you like nature, or maybe you like animals. You have to write an article. First of all, you have to describe the place. As we read for the pandas, it was a sanctuary place, Wolong. What attracts the visitors, if there is something special about this place. So why do I have to visit this place? Features of the place, what has it special, and why should I visit, why should I come to your trip to travel with you? Thank you. That was all for today.